What fun fact is blatantly untrue? Something about goldfish memories. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. In fact, it doesn't sometimes with frequency. It takes 7 years for your body to digest a piece of gum. In reality, your body doesn't break it down at all and will just pass the gum though with everything else. Can confirm. When I was like 12 I swallowed a bunch of that pink bubble gum that you get trick or treating on Halloween over a couple days. I pooped it out a day or so later and my turds were speckled with bright pink blobs of gum. The brown and pink looked good together. It was oddly beautiful. Albert Einstein was a fantastic student who passed his classes with flying colors. The guy analyzing his life was just confused by the Swiss grading system compared to Germany's. One is on a scale of 1 to 6. The other is 6 to 1. That owls can turn their heads 360 degrees. It's more like 270. That you should never pick up or touch a baby bird because the mother bird will smell a human and abandon it. If the bird is healthy and you can safely reach the nest, put it back. If you happen to find the bird on the ground again, the mother bird likely pushed it out of the nest on purpose. A lot of nests aren't even these safe cocoons people think they are. They scream easy prey to predators and can get infested with parasites. 2. If the parents aren't manic about cleaning up, the sooner baby birds can get out the better. They can be ushered into better hidden safe spots and separated for greater chances of survival. I saw or heard somewhere that some birds were using cigarette but cotton in their nests, and they said the added advantage of killing parasites because nicotine is made by the plant is an insecticide. Cracking your fingers won't give you arthritis, like I was always told. I just found this out yesterday and feel like I've been lied to my whole life. It also won't reduce grip strength when you get older like some people claim. It basically does nothing except makes sound and feels good for me at least, so crack away. Marilyn Monroe wasn't plus size. She was a size 16 at some point, yes, but she was a size 16 in the 50s. Sizing in the 50s was very different to sizing today. A museum that bought one of her dresses found it too small to fit on a size 6 mannequin. She was thin. She was just curvy and used shapewear. That carrots improve night vision. That was a ruse invented by the British during WW2 to hide the fact that they invented radar. That bats are blind. Thomas F. Edison didn't invent the light bulb in 1000 trials. He just bought the patent for it. That the Sahara is the largest desert in the world. It's Antarctica. That's because people always think desert wasteland hot sand. They don't even consider that a frozen wasteland counts as a desert as well. Einstein didn't fail math. It is true though that Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard, but that's because he was doing computer science since he was a child and already had university level computer science knowledge. Not sure if it's fun, but the heart shocker thing doesn't start your heart, it stops it in hopes of resetting it to default. It's the did you try turning it off and on human body reboot. It's defibrillation and you basically got it correct. It corrects a few abnormal heart rhythms, but in particular rhythms which are present during big heart attacks, particularly sudden ones. They are more or less the heart's panic mode setting when the conduction isn't working properly, and you're absolutely correct that the goal is to reset to normal settings. That you can see the Great Wall of China from space. Yes, it's long, but it's literally 13 to 15 foot wide along the top, 25 foot wide at the bottom, way too narrow to see. You can, however, see cities from all the light pollution. You have no real memories before the age of 5. All of those memories are just constructions of things people have told you after the fact. I never believed that for a second. That your tongue has separate sections for sweet / salty / sour, etc. I don't know why seemingly everyone was taught that way. We even experimented with it in school and it obviously didn't work. If it had any effect it was just a placebo. Well, technically we do. It's due to the specific arrangement of different taste buds. Not saying it's sections per se, but that myth holds some weight. You ever notice how you don't get a certain flavor of something until you swallow it? That Rasputin just wouldn't die despite being poisoned, shot, beaten, etc. He got shot square in the forehead, and, unsurprisingly, that killed him on the spot. He has an autopsy, you know. Lemmings commit mass suicide by jumping into the ocean. Ironically, even the film that started that myth claimed they didn't, and the jumping was just a form of seasonal migration. I guess it's just the image of them going over the cliff that stuck in people's minds, though the fact they were actually being thrown over probably had a role in making it look like they were plummeting to the deaths. 2 Bible things at least. Never mentions an apple on the Garden of Eden. Never mentions 3 wise men. From what I understand, it was assumed there was 3 wise men because it mentions 3 gifts that they brought. But, in reality, we don't know how many wise men there were. Alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, and cussing are also never mentioned as being sins. Basically, becoming impaired through alcohol was considered a sin in the OT, but not alcohol itself. Logically, impairing yourself with drugs would arguably be a sin, but mild usage probably not. Cursing is a sin. Damn you. A pox on your household, etc. But saying naughty words isn't necessarily. You swallow about 4 spiders in your sleep per year. I know this isn't true, but now I have a fear that a spider is going to crawl into my mouth, nose or ear, and lay eggs. Most spiders are aware of the difference between a big creature and a hiding spot. It would be like a rabbit cuddling up to a bear. It's just a bad idea for them, and they'd prefer not to be eaten. Also, if this was true, why are there never stories about people being bitten on the mouth or dying in their sleep due to untreated spider bites? You have environmental toxins building up in your body. Toxins are produced by animals and plants. If you were bitten by a blue-ringed octopus, sure, toxins is not a synonym for toxic chemicals. It is a good signal for unscientific bullsh that is meant to sell you something, though. Words have meanings. That cold water boils faster than hot water. How does that make any sense? It's like saying, if you give someone a decent head start in a race then you travel at the same speed as them, then you should win. That you break your baby toe 3 times a year without noticing. I have broken my pinky toe. Trust me, you notice it. That vegans don't abuse any animals. It's incredibly hypocritical yet sad when some of them rant about saving industrial farm animals, but will then go and feed an omnivorous/carnivorous pet a vegan diet without bothering to even research a safe way to do it. Vegan teacher. The woman that burned herself with McDonald's coffee was just being litigious for the sake of greed and exaggerated to get more money. People use this as a fun fact to show how desperate and money-hungry selfish consumers are when they think they can take advantage of a large company or corporation. The woman was 79 years old. A tumble out of the bed can seriously injure someone at that age, and they don't have the same capacity to heal well and fully as a young person. These kind of injuries are what often herald a decline in their overall health. The coffee was 190 deg point F, 87.778 deg point C. Stella Liebeck was the passenger in parked car. It caused severe 3rd-degree burns to her legs and groin which nearly killed her, and took lots of intensive surgery to treat. This wasn't the first time this had happened to patrons, as they had nearly 700 reports of this happening to other people. So McDonald's was well aware. Liebeck didn't really want to go to court. She only wanted them to pay for her medical bills. But McDonald's pretty much wanted to send her off with $800. Her medical expenses were near $20K. In court, the jury sided with her and even thought she should be allowed about $2.9 million, more for the original $20K, all to show McDonald's how wrong they were. But she settled for only $600K. The story gets tossed around due to McDonald's lawyers trying to spin the story to look like another stupid lawsuit. Victim blaming.